Hello, guys. Welcome back to the fifth episode of our brand new season called Becoming That Girl, you guys. In last week's episode titled Do the Work, and stop right here. If you haven't listened to it, go back and listen because we talk about the importance of inner work, healing, maintaining a positive mindset and outlook on different situations that happen in our life because there's always a positive that can be found in any negative. And we just talk about, doing the work. So, you guys, this is a step, this is a season. So make sure you go back and listen. But this week's episode is titled, Are You Really Ready? So this week is gonna encompass asking yourselves, for our ladies out there, are you really ready for the Prince Charming that you talk about, that you want, that you see other people with, that you just, envision yourself with? Are you really ready? We'll be getting down to the nitty gritty and seeing if we're ready, learning how to never chase a man, and figuring out how to tap into our inner femininity, becoming just a feminine woman. So you guys, without further ado, I'm just gonna kick it off, and I want to start off with a phrase and ask you, have you ever thought about becoming a wife before the husband? Let it sit, let it ponder. Have you ever thought about that? You have to carry yourself in a way to where you feel like you're the top in anything. And the top of relationship is becoming a wife, getting the ring on your finger, becoming somebody's second half, becoming whole with another person. Now, this is not what I'm telling you to treat your boyfriend or act like a wife to your boyfriend. No, that's not what I'm saying. Or to your situationships. Some things have to be left for the wife. You don't want your boyfriend or your situation shipper to already see you as a wife because he's not going to move you up in the ranks, if that makes sense. He's not going to feel inclined to be like, okay, well, let me make her my girlfriend, and then next, let me make her my wife. You don't want to do those wifey duties for him, but it's okay for him to see you as a wife. Carry yourself in a way that exudes wifey material. Don't be the wife yet when you're not the wife. It might sound a little old school, but I feel like domestic skills. And I want to ask you guys a question too. Do you guys know how to cook and clean?
I know how to clean.
Okay.
I know how to cook, but it's just like I really haven't. Like when I'm home, I'll cook certain stuff here and there, but I just feel like if it was to come to a situation where I'm living by myself or I have my own apartment with a kitchen, like I'm probably gonna cook 9 times out of 10. I love cooking things like breakfast, but breakfast is easy. When it comes to like dinner and stuff like that, I know how to do a little pasta, a little grilled salmon, a little grilled asparagus, you know what I'm saying? Like stuff
Not
like
many
that.
people.
So I feel like, you know, yeah. But it's definitely like I definitely want to explore more in my cooking. I just really haven't had like the opportunity to, for real.
Okay.
Yeah, and I feel
girl.
like,
Oh, sorry.
what about you, Sabine?
Oh, I don't know. I'm learning Kaylin grill asparagus. I don't even know how to do that. Okay, grilled asparagus.
Easy.
I feel like since I moved into my apartment, I never knew how to cook, but now I just be cooking. I'll be making ribs. I'll be making steak. I'll be making sauteed potatoes, not chopped potatoes, sauteed potatoes. So I'll be trying new things. I'll be trying to make breaded chicken, little wine chicken. I'll be trying new things. So I like to cook.
Yeah, I mean, that's important. And I wanted to actually look up the definition of what it like domestic means because it has such a bad stigma behind it. I feel like a lot of people think, oh, if you're domestic, you're your man's slave. You just doing this and that and this and that. And yes, in a relationship, it's always nice for balance. But the definition of domestic is related to the running of a home or to family relations. One day, I mean, all three of us, I feel like we want a family. One day, we're going to be somebody's mom. And we're going to be looked at as that person that is just supposed to know everything and do everything. And that's important because you want to be that person for your parents or for your kids like our parents were for us. Like if we had a problem, we were easily able to look to one of our parents and be like, okay, you're going to solve this for me, right? Or like, you're going to make my breakfast for me, right? Or you're going to help me clean, right? In the beginning, and it's so important to just learn how to be domestic young. Learn how to one day put yourself in a position where you are, somebody's mama or somebody's wife. You're prepared. So become a wife before the husband. The next step I have is pray for your man. I find myself so often recently just praying, God, I don't know who my husband is. You know who my husband is. He's going to be just right for me and be the lock to my, or the key to my lock, but it's just going to be just right for me. But start praying for him, start asking God to bring you a man for the qualities that you require for that man. Ask him to bring you your dream man. And I challenge you guys tonight, after you're done listening to this or whenever, to talk to God about your man. Ask him, talk to him. Maybe ask him to reveal if you just feel like you're ready. You're like, okay, God, bring me my man. And he might not bring it to you right at the moment, but just talk to God. And I was talking to Kaylin the other day about, or I think Sabine too, we were all talking about, is writing a letter to your husband. Writing a letter to your future husband, writing how you want him to love you, how you want to love him, what you see your family to be like, where you want to live, like literally just writing to him as if you already know him. I feel like that is such a cool way, and I'm going to do it myself. I challenge everybody to do it as well. I've seen on TikTok, this girl actually wrote a letter to her future husband before she met him, and she just happened to meet the man that she wrote about. This might not happen to everybody, of course, but when you write it down and you pray and you ask God and you have certain qualities and non-negotiables that you're just not going for, you have it written down and you can see it. You want to have that man that you picture in your life. If you have a man that is going to love you through your ups and your downs, through your attitude, through your bad days, through whatever, write that down and ask God, God, I can have an attitude sometimes. I can be stank sometimes. Bring me a man that will just love me through my stank and my attitude and never want to leave me. Just talk about it. Talk to God. Write it down. Prepare for that man. Envision that man. I feel like a lot of time girls are not able to see past what they want, or just be like, oh, that dream man, he's not there. I can never have him. This generation, we just stuck with just bad guys and this, that, and the third. No, we are not putting that negative energy out there, ladies. Your man is out there. The qualities that you encompass or want for a man is out there. And another thing is to get prepared. Ladies, everybody wants a man to look a certain way, to fit your type. If you like, ooh, I want a man with tattoos and I want him to be super chiseled and I want him to have a nice cut, get his hair cut every week, you got to ask yourself, are you the woman that are you the woman that a man that you want would be with? Are you encompassing that woman? Are you doing everything in your power to get your mental right, get your physical right? Because like we said, you don't know when you're going to meet your Mr. Right or your dream man. So if you're not what you want your outward and your inner to be, you can't expect to attract somebody like that, I think Kaylin's going to get into this a little more. We had our little Kevin Samuels talk. Shout out to little Kevin Samuels. You crazy, but you say some good stuff.
We do. We got to give it to him.
Good stuff. Yeah, and you want him to look a certain way, act a certain way. You have to start holding yourself that way. If you want a confident man, start practicing to be more confident. If you want a God-fearing man, stop practicing to build your relationship with God. If you want a man that works out, start working out. You want to be able to exude what you want to, hold on, you guys, I'm jumbling my words. What you see in your man, you want to see in yourself. And you want to be able to carry that with you, and you want to be able to be that wife before the husband. You guys, start encompassing yourself, start carrying yourself as the wifey material. Even for my single girls out there, be a wife before your husband. He's not there yet, but start doing things. If you want to learn how to cook, learn how to cook. If you want to clean up a little more, clean up a little more. If you want to just work out more. If you want to, whatever it is that you want for your husband and you want to be the wife for your husband, start to be the wife before your husband, because you're gonna be ready when he comes. You can't say you're not ready when you've been practicing and you've been putting in the work, your mental, your physical, outward, inner, just like we talk about on the podcast. Your inner is just as important as your outer. You want to make sure that they're both aligning. You don't want one better than the other. Focus on yourself, focus on becoming that wife before the husband. Don't pressure, don't do too much, let it flow, but become the wife before the husband. And I want to ask you guys, have you ever been in a relationship, past or present, that you feel like you rushed into it because you weren't fully prepared in a way, and it backfired on you? Like, it came back where maybe you weren't prepared to not be the wife, and you just gave this man all this stuff and you didn't really see him moving you up in the ranks because he had no reason to, or vice versa.
Honestly, I feel like there's definitely been times where first and foremost, I feel like I've always had it ingrained in my head, do not act wifey to a boyfriend. And there will be times where, you know, I feel like I would either be allowing someone to like see me too much in the dating phase. And that's kind of like girlfriend type. Like, hold on, you're not my boyfriend yet. You can't see me all the time. Like, I need you to relax, and you're gonna have to cuff up if you want to continue to see me and hang out and go on dates, and you know what I'm saying. So I feel like once I've practiced that, like I've definitely gotten better. Like it's been a really long time since I've even been in a position where I would even like be wifey before the girlfriend. But I've definitely jumped into something I wasn't ready for, where I feel like I was with someone who was way more evolved than I was. And so this was my dream boyfriend, and you know what I'm saying, like this was just the perfect guy, but I messed it up because mature wise I wasn't where I needed to be in order to like really put forth what I needed to in that relationship, and at the time he was. And so I was young, like I was in high school, but still, like he was a great guy. A little issues here and there, but overall great guy. I feel like out of that relationship, I definitely was the one that wasn't ready for him, if that makes sense. So it's important, ladies, like everything Karen is talking about is facts. Like you want to make sure that you don't mess up something really good because you're just not ready for it. I felt like I was ready for him. He was perfect at the time. First guy to take me shopping, first guy to spend money on me. I was like, yes. First guy to pick me up, like just introduce me to that. You know what I mean? And I was young, like I said, so I definitely wasn't ready for it though. Like that's what I wanted. That's what I envisioned for myself. That's what I would talk about with my friends. Like I just want my boyfriend to have a car and take me shopping and blah 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 blah. And that's what I got. But once I got that man, I wasn't ready, so I just messed it up. So I definitely can relate to that.
I don't even know. I'm trying to think. I'm like sitting here like we playing my life as Kenan talk. I'm just sitting here doing little throwbacks. I feel like in high school, my first relationship, I feel like I was not ready for that. I feel like at the time, well, the scenario was, I feel like at the time, it was the trend in high school. I feel like everybody was having a boyfriend. So I felt like the guy that I was friends with, that was like my good best friend, I was trying to do like, he my best friend. You know, I always heard be a friend first and then be together. But that did not work at all. And I realized he doesn't, even though there's men that actually could be your best friend. You don't have to date them. I learned that. So I feel like me just hopping into that relationship, no, that was just not meant for us. I think we were actually meant to actually be friends in life and not romantic partners. So I learned, don't just jump, always look at the ins and outs of the person, because just because you're good friends, how are they in a relationship? They could be a good friend, but not a good boyfriend. There's two different stigmas. So I kind of learned that in that relationship, that maybe some men are just meant to be your friends and some men are meant to be your romantic partners. And you got to learn how to separate them, but also you got to take your time, because men are also good at putting two different faces, okay? They could be the great friend, but once they get the, a little love, a little sugar, all that, and they start to act a little different. I'm like, you was not like this when we was friends. Now we together, it's a whole different person. So I feel like that kind of backfired on me. I was trying to do the little trend, like, got me a little man in high school. Look at me. My man picked me up. My man did a prom proposal. I was trying to do that, but it just clashed and it didn't work. And I learned some men just have a place in life. You just got to keep them as the friend sometimes. You got to put them in the friend zone. As A Boogie said it, keep me in the friend zone, okay? So that's what you got to do. But
I think so for myself. I think so for myself too. Like there's been times where I didn't clean a guy's room before, and I'm able to call myself out. I have.
Not you cleaning the room.
I've cleaned the room. I've cleaned the room.
Like,
y'all cleaned the room. Y'all cleaned the room.
Yes.
Y'all was cleaning the room. Oh, you lost me.
And like he had to go somewhere, so I just like cleaned it. But that's like my nature. I feel like by nature I'm already a more domestic, and I had to learn like, hold on, this man, I came into a messy room, he gonna come back to a messy room too, because that's not my job. I'm not this man's wife. So just learning, don't be a wifey to these boyfriends before you are a wife, but always hold yourself and practice your wifey skills, because one day your husband will come and you'll be ready. But don't be giving these boys that wifey material when they're not your husband. Okay? Okay.
Okay. All right, Kiara. I didn't know. Clean the room. I'll be scared. I feel like as a man, you're a man. You know hygiene. You got a mother. Your mother taught you how to clean your room. I am not your wife to be cleaning your personal belongings. Unless I'm in a relationship with you for like 2 or 3 years, maybe I'll clean the room. But not y'all cleaning. What y'all be doing? Y'all be nice. Y'all be nice.
Sometimes.
Y'all be nice. But to hop into my segment, you know, since we get in the topic of relationships, let's also talk about good things come to those who wait. Okay, I feel like everybody just be trying to jump. Everybody nowadays, it's the new trend. Like, I need a man, I need this. Everybody's trying to look for love, but don't really wait for love to come find them. And I feel like being a part of that girl, you can attract good, positive love in your journey. So don't feel like, oh, just because I have all the qualities, why don't I have a man? Like, your man's gonna come. Like, I always believe in that statement. I feel like it was a long time ago. I think Kaylin had a class in Christian marriage, and she, like, it's always stuck to my head, like, everybody has a soulmate. God made a soulmate for you. It's somewhere in the world. We don't know who it is. You probably met them already, or you probably didn't meet them already. So just know your person is there, okay? You could be that girl, but your man, he gonna come. But also remember, a man is not an accessory, okay? You don't need him, okay? You don't always have to have a man. Some women, I know some strong women that never been married, you know, and they killing it in the game. So just always remember, a man is not important, okay, ladies? He's just a little side, you know? He's the man that comes with it, but you don't need it all the time. But however, I always feel like a lot of women nowadays, when they do certain things to get a man's attention, okay? I feel like when you try to be an attention seeker, you attract the wrong man and you attract the wrong energy. And that's when you lead into toxicity and a dark place. And I feel like when you're trying to do certain things, you act a certain way so that guy can notice you, I promise you, you're going to attract the wrong kind of man. But when you're true to yourself, and also when you're true to your inner feminine energy, as Kaylin, she's going to talk about it in her segment as well, inner femininity, you know, I feel like you do attract a better man, because a man, when he sees you glow a mile away, it's always the right man for you, and it always tends to succeed better, because a man's going to want a woman that loves themselves, because at the end of the day, men have feelings too. They want to be loved. So if you don't know how to love yourself, you're not going to know how to give that love. I always feel like that. So a man, they know, and a true man, a true good man, he's going to see, like, I want to be loved this way, but if she don't know how to love herself, I can't be with her. So also remember that, ladies, you don't want to do certain things. Also work on yourself. Like, don't stop your goals. Live your life. Like, there's so many men in the sea, okay? Men are going to come your way. I always feel like that. They're going to come in a mysterious way. I'm telling you, you could bump into him at a coffee shop. I would say the little bump, oop, drop my cup at Starbucks, and then next thing you know, butterflies, and that's your man. Or you could be running in the grocery store, bump, you know, like, you never know. It's in the mysterious way. So just, ladies, keep doing you. Live your life at the end of the day, because a man's going to come no matter what. We are women. We are meant to reproduce, okay? God put us on the earth, so we're gonna have somebody to reproduce and have kids with, but just still keep doing you, because I feel like a lot of women nowadays, they just now, I feel like social media, I feel like you gotta be that it girl, you gotta have the it dude, he gotta look good. It's so much pressure, and I feel like, no, just still keep doing you. Don't wait for somebody just to come and then you want to start doing you, because I'm telling you, it's just never going to work, okay, ladies? And also for my ladies in the relationships, follow that 60-40 rule. My mom always teaches me that the man should like you more than the woman, okay? Because you want that man, because I feel like women, we're naturally submissive. So I feel like when the man likes you more, it just makes you feel, I feel like, more of an extra reassurance. And I feel like it doesn't make us overthink, because when we like the man more, and now we're questioning, does he like me? Now, am I doing too much? When you have questions like that, I always feel like get out the relationship, okay? Because if you start to have questions in a relationship, that relationship is not for you. You should never question love. Love always has the answers. When you start questioning love, that's when you know it's really not for you. So I always feel like, I know the gentlemen who probably be listening, they're like, no, like, rocking a girl like me even. But like, as my mom said, it's an old school kind of love. Like, the man should always love you more, because the man should always treat you like you're a princess. And also, I feel like chivalry, I hope I'm saying it, pronouncing right, chivalry also comes with that and that 60-40 rule, because when the man likes you more, you get that chivalry. And a lot of people who don't know the definition, well, I got the relationship definition, because chivalry is more of a, I guess, a medieval time type of definition, but chivalry is more men behaving courteously towards women. For instance, holding the door for them, offering their jackets when it's cold. Those are little things of chivalry, or just doing little nice things. Like, I feel like on Instagram, everybody wants the roses on the floor. We want the candles. We want to walk in. Oh my God, like, he just did all that. Like, not every man is like that. Every man has their own form of way. And I'm not saying you can't have a romantic man. Everybody can have a romantic man, but every man has their own kind of way of doing it. So don't all expect, I feel like every girl nowadays, we want the shopping bag, we want the Dior, we want all that, and the flowers. Oh my gosh, she's perfect. But some men, they do certain things. Some men like to do like intimate things, not just like sexual, but just more intimate, like get into your head mentally. Let's do activities. Let's do a hiking and talk. You know, some men are like that. They find that's their way of romance, you know. So don't just expect, ladies, that he's about to just do all these things, because every man is different and every man has their own love language. Also remember that love language is really important when it comes to men. So I feel like each woman's going to deserve who they need. And also remember that, ladies, you're going to be treated like a queen no matter what. Any man that comes to you, the man that is meant for you, you'll be treated as a queen. And you're going to know, because he's going to come with all the things that you required, okay? As Kiaran said, like, the man that you're praying for, that husband that you have, he's going to come with everything you need. And you're going to be knowing that you're that queen, because he's going to make you feel that queen. Because also, I feel like chivalry is important. I feel like this generation now is just like, you cute, I'm cute, what are you trying to do? And that's it. Like, why can't I get a little, hey, what's wrong with saying hey? Why do you gotta be like, you cute? What's wrong with that? Like, why can't we talk with mannerism nowadays? What's wrong with that? So I feel like, to you guys, do you guys believe that chivalry is dead, since this generation's more about materials than actual love?
I think, like I said, I always like to hold out hope. I do not think that chivalry is dead amongst all men, but I actually have a story. So I recently went on a date, and the guy, he paid for everything. Of course, he did it all, but I noticed that it was one thing that was lacking, which is one of my non-negotiables, and he wasn't very chivalrous, you know, like, didn't really hold open the door, walked in front of me on the street, like, didn't do the whole, you know, like, girl walks in, guy walks out, like, making sure I'm good, you know. It was little stuff like that. Maybe opening a door, like, holding the door open for me. Little quote unquote stuff that's seen as old school now is very important to me, because the men in my family treat me that way. I don't walk behind them. They open the door for me. I now hope, like, the whole close the door thing, like, in the car, my brother ain't finna do all that, like, but they're still very, they just hold themselves in their chivalry amongst women. I'm not, obviously I'm their sister, so they look at me like they're gonna protect me and all that stuff, and that's how I want my husband to feel, or how my boyfriend, I want to feel like they're protecting me, making sure that my safety is a priority, that they're just being a man about it, you know. Like, I can buy myself a dinner, I can buy myself a drink, I can go to the bowling alley or whatever the case may be and buy all that stuff for me, but I want, in a relationship with somebody, I want to feel that protection of a man, you know. And I don't think chivalry is dead, but for me, chivalry means more actions than materials, you know, like being that man in a relationship, taking on those actions of making your girl feel safe and allowing her to tap into her feminine side, like Kaylin is about to talk about. But a lot of those things don't come unless you are given that door open to feel that way, you know. So for me, in this generation, chivalry's not dead, but chivalry's just a little sick right now. She just doesn't feel that well. Like, it's just, that's what I feel like in this generation. Like, it's not dead, because there are men that are just great men, and they just, you know, exude themselves in ways where they have manners and they treat a woman the way she's supposed to be treated. But it's not dead. It's just a little sick. It's just a little on paid off time right now. And I hope she come back to work.
I'm so dead, but I agree. I don't feel like chivalry is dead. I do feel like there are men out there that do still hold the door open, that do still, like, pull out the chair for you. Like, I was on a date and a man pulled out a chair for me, and I said, oh, like, you pulling out the chair for me to sit down? Like, I like that. Like, I definitely like that one. So the little thing, chivalry is not dead. I feel like materials can be a form of chivalry though, but not if all you're doing is buying me stuff and then we go out, it's just like there's no kind of mannerism. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't even like open a door or do little stuff. So there's a very fine line. Like, giving gifts can be a form of chivalry too. Even like bringing flowers to a date. I feel like that, I just want that. Like, I want to go on a date and I want flowers. Like, please, whoever's listening, if you want to take me out, make sure, and I say yes because I have to agree to it first, but bring some flowers, please. Please bring some flowers. It really just sets the tone. Like, I've never had a guy bring flowers on a date, but I would love to experience that because it really just shows that you really took the time to like go buy flowers, make sure that they were pretty, bring them to the date, and it's just like, here you go. And it's just like, oh, like, thanks. Like, I don't know, something about flowers, but stuff like that, like, it is kind of dead. I just feel like there's certain men that get it, like the little TikTok thing. Those who get it, and if you don't. So there's men out there that get it. I've had friends be like, girl, he bought me flowers. I'll be like, what? Or he took me on a picnic and he did. I'm like, what? Like, it's possible, and they're there in our generation. It's just a matter of not wanting the men that y'all see on social media, and like, stop trying to, it's kind of like, why you want Future to act like Russell Wilson? You get what I'm saying? Like, Future is not going to be a Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is Russell Wilson, but Future is Future. And I seen a comment like that, and it was like, because females be wanting Future, but be wanting him to act like Russell Wilson. And it just don't make sense. So it's like Sabine also said too, like, be cautious of the type of men that you want. Like, a lot of females go on social media and be wanting certain type of men because they see their favorite influencers with them, and it's like, girl, like, that type of man is gonna come with things that you probably don't even want for real. But everybody is chucking up the deuces to the Russell Wilsons of the world when really that's where it's at. So it's like, you can have a fine man and he be Russell Wilson too, because I don't think he's ugly, but still. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's that kind of thing. Like, why you want to go for the rapper, the trapper, and you kind of already, you know what I'm saying? I ain't saying rappers and trappers don't have chivalry. I'm just saying, like, be cautious of the type of men that you desire. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that's what that is. But chivalry is not dead. Like Kiara said, it's on paid leave right now. And 2022, we ain't expecting nothing more, nothing less. Ladies, this new year, we're not playing these type of games. Like, we're gonna make sure we're showing up as our best self for the men that we want to desire. So we're gonna continue to put out there that the man I go out with is gonna buy me flowers. He is gonna pull out the chair, open the door, walk on the left side, and make sure I'm on the right side of the sidewalk. Hello? Like, little stuff. You know what I'm saying? Why am I walking closest to the street? Move. You know what I'm saying? Like, move. So now we're about to really talk about the importance of femininity. And I feel like wanting chivalry and not expecting anything less is a form of remaining in your true feminine energy. So I first want to start off with just defining what being feminine means. So we're going to pull out the Urban Dictionary because, you know, the real dictionary, they be all over the place sometimes. So the way that the Urban Dictionary defined the word feminine and what being feminine means is having qualities or an appearance traditionally associated with women, especially delicacy and prettiness. Feminine traits include, but are not limited to, being understanding, empathetic, sensitive, submissive, gentle, modest, and pretty. So I really want to break down these characteristics, all right? So being understanding, let's just start off with that. I feel like being understanding is such a huge part of being feminine because it really allows you to just conserve your energy in a lot of situations. When you're really understanding, you have the ability to like rise above a lot of stuff because it's like you just have a different outlook and a different perspective on a lot of things. You rise above false assumptions because you just have an understanding that, okay, this person is going through whatever they're going through, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're just a very understanding type of female. Like, you don't feel the need to control everything, or you don't take everything personal, and you don't really internalize a lot of the things that happen to you, because you're understanding of other people, you're understanding of other people's feelings, you're understanding of what other people may be going through, and it really allows you to just relax, which really directly relates to remaining in your feminine energy. Being feminine is not being all riled up and all upset and all mad all the time. Like, I'm not saying that you can't experience those emotions, but remaining in your feminine energy is being a woman who is understanding. It's not letting it sweat. It's not letting things get to her, because you understand what it is. And so I think that's so important. The next thing that I feel like is super important is being gentle. That's a very great characteristic of being feminine, being gentle. If you're the kind of female that goes out of her way to prove the point that if anyone messes with you, they're going to get beat up or cursed out, don't mess with me, da-da-da-da-da. I see that so much. I'm just like, girl, be gentle. Like, it's not cute. You get what I'm saying? Like, be gentle. Physically fighting, verbally fighting, like, it's really not remaining in your true feminine energy. To me, that's masculine energy, when you're really wild up and wanting to fight and wanting to curse people out and stuff like that. There's a way to be assertive and not let anyone run over you without that. And part of knowing how to do that is just learning how to effectively communicate with people. There's other ways to get your point across. There's other ways to be assertive. There's other ways to not let people run over you. But fighting and verbally fighting, all that stuff, that's not feminine, ladies. So we're going to have to refigure out a way. There's going to be arguments that come up. There's going to be some people that try you. But remaining in your true feminine energy is being able to fight with your words without raising your voice, without lifting a finger. And it can be done. Trust me, it can be done. I've seen my mom do it. I've personally done it. Rise above that and don't stoop down to someone else's level by wanting to physically fight them, verbally fight them, or even get a point across that no one should play with you because you're like that. No, sis, it should just speak for itself. Be feminine and be gentle. The next thing is being empathetic and sensitive, which I feel like is something that comes to women's second nature. I feel like we're naturally very empathetic, naturally very sensitive to others, but this just means taking others into consideration. Be genuine, show empathy, don't be rude, don't be so cold. Like, show that you care about other people's feelings, especially those around you. A man will really appreciate that. A woman who is just so cold and doesn't have any like kind of remorse for anyone but herself and doesn't show any empathy or is not sensitive to anyone's feelings but herself, like, oh, I don't care. That's just like, that's not true feminine energy. Be empathetic, be sensitive, tap into your, sensitivities. You know what I mean? Don't just be so cold and rude. The next thing that the Urban Dictionary said is being modest. Now, everyone, I feel like that's so tricky in 2021 because it's like modest. Like, I'm not supposed to be modest. When someone says the word modest, they think of like long dress, like gloves, no skin showing. Like, no, that's not what modest means. I interpret it as dress the way you want to be perceived, carry yourself as the way you want to be perceived, and that's literally it. So being feminine, it can mean a lot of things. Your modesty may mean a lot of things. If you want to attract a man that, I don't know, it's just more like in the business room and has to go to a lot of like big meetings and a lot of like company gatherings and stuff like that, he may not want to desire a woman that like is overly like showing a whole lot of, you get what I'm saying? Because that's just not what he envisions his woman to be. But different men like different things. So ladies, this doesn't mean like dress like this, dress like that. I just feel like dress as the way you want to be perceived, because you will, regardless of how you like it or not. The way you dress is the way people will perceive you to be, point blank, period. And the last thing they said was submissive, which is what I feel like we've already kind of talked about earlier, but this word, not a lot of women like. They hear the word submissive and they perceive it as like being someone's maid, being your man's maid, cooking, cleaning, saying yes to everything he tells you to do. No, in my opinion, being submissive just means having the ability to be guided. Like, ladies, we can be so independent sometimes where we feel like can't nobody tell us nothing. Being submissive means being able to be guided, being able to be taught, being able to be easy to work with, easy to communicate with, and not making everything so difficult and overly complicated. Having the ability to compromise, meet your man in the middle sometimes. Like, that's what I feel like being submissive truly means. We already spoke about the importance of domestic skills. Domestic skills are skills that everyone should have. Everyone should know how to cook. Everyone should know how to clean. I mean, these are basic life skills that you need to be able to know how to do to live. You know what I mean? But that's not what being submissive is about. We can get too caught up in thinking we know everything, that we don't even want to be told what to do by a man or be guided. And I know I personally want to be taught. I want my man to put me on to bigger and better things. I want to be able to be guided. I want to be able to be led. But when certain women get in relationships, and we can do it sometimes, we just feel like, nope, we got this. Especially if you on a journey of becoming that girl, 9 times out of 10, you a boss. You got your head on your shoulders. So we do know a lot. But when it comes to a man, it's men's natural nature to provide, to give, to lead. So you can be a leader, but don't be afraid of being led. And I feel like that's where being submissive really comes into play. So are there any important feminine traits that y'all feel like I haven't mentioned? And do you feel it's still important? We already talked about all the feminine traits, but do you feel like it's important to still have a balance between feminine and masculine energy?
I'm trying to think myself. Well, you really knocked it out the park. You basically gave all the traits, because honestly, I feel like that's just basically in tune with your femininity. I feel like gentle, understanding, empathetic, modest, submissive, I feel like key points. But I'm trying to think. Also, I feel like, I guess, being a part of just your femininity is just also emotions. I feel like that's one thing. As women, we are naturally emotional, and I feel like we get caught up in stuff like that. So I feel like there's certain things we need to know how to take criticism, or hard criticism. I feel like as women, we overthink when we hear things, and our emotions just play the best of us sometimes. So I feel like we should also know how to control that. It's a hard thing. It's our nature. We're meant to think with emotions, but I feel like there's a certain part I feel like we should know how to control it. Because sometimes as women, we think with emotions and not really think with, not common sense, but I don't think we think logically first. It's always the emotions, and then we're like, oh, why did I do that? I should have thought this out clearly. So I feel like that's one thing. I feel like that's one trait that I feel like that will keep a balance between feminine and masculine. Because sometimes that's really how you know some women could have more masculine energy, but once the emotions come, it's back into their femininity, and then they think with emotions. I feel like us women, first thing we do, think with emotions and not logically.
Yeah, I mean, I think Kaylin definitely hit the nail on everything about tapping into your femininity with you guys. But we hope you enjoyed this episode. We talked about a lot, tapping into your femininity, asking yourself, are you really ready for your Prince Charming? Continue to ask yourself, you guys, imply or implement all of these things into your life. But once again, we hope you enjoyed this episode 5 of this amazing season that we hope you guys are enjoying as well. Make sure to follow us on @K2Pod on Instagram to stay up to date with all things K2. We love you guys so much, and we will see you next Friday. Bye, guys.